Future Kris here. I'm just letting you know that during the recording of this video and a couple other videos, the phone that I used to record all this glitched out. Factory reset itself, deleted every single thing on it. When I went to get cloud backup, there are just random video clips missing, just seemingly random clips of video that just are permanently gone and can't be recovered. So if you're going along and you go, wait a minute, did something missing there? Did I miss something? How did we get from point A to point B with no in between? That's why. So there are some clips missing here, and I apologize for that. Things might be choppy at times. Nothing I can do about it. I'm going to try to fix that going forward. Thank you for your patience. Welcome back to Kris Greenhill's Garage. I'm Kris Sr. Not with me today is Kris Jr. As is typical this time of year, he is in school. Please pardon my voice. I've been mildly sick and I'm pretty tired, and it's not going to get any better. Recently you saw me try to wire up the headlights on Project White Trash and mostly fail. The headlights do technically work. They turn on, they turn off. The brights do not work. The blinkers don't work. But technically, I have headlights, taillights, and brake lights. Probably as good as it's going to get for a while. I have not gotten to touch either car or either Mustang in a couple of weeks. I haven't gotten to drive them at night. I know how bad the headlights in the black car are. I don't know how bad the headlights on White Trash are. I'm guessing they're pretty bad. I doubt I'll be able to see anything. Unfortunately, it's been a couple of weeks being pretty busy. I haven't gotten to drive it, so I don't know for a fact. Maybe I'll get a chance to find out tonight. I'm not sure, but not really interested in finding out exactly how blind I am at night by catching a deer in the middle of the grill that I didn't see coming. And we have millions of deer around here. Rather than addressing this properly by getting new headlight lenses and nice, new, modern, expensive LED replacement headlights and things like that, I'm going to band-aid this as cheaply as possible. Replacing these is expensive. Modern, bright LED fog lights from Amazon are not expensive. In case you're wondering, no, I'm not just going to stick these on the front of the car somewhere and ghetto it. These are going in the factory headlight or fog light hole down here. I'm going to start with White Trash, and if that goes well, I'm going to try to mount these down here on a piece of stang, although these are recessed a lot more than they are in White Trash. So I'm not sure how well that's going to work. And I don't know what's all over the car. Weird. I think the lights for the black car were $23, and I think the round ones for the white car were $33 or something. But it's a lot better than the $300+ for replacement LED headlights for both cars. These kits both came with a pre-wired wiring harness with a fuse built in and a relay and a switch. I can tell you right now, none of this is going to reach any. I mean, it'll reach the headlights, the fog lights, but none of this is going to reach in the cabin. So I'll have to cut the switch cord, and I'm not really sure what all I'm going to have to do to make it work. The wiring harness is okay. It comes with some pre-cut things. It doesn't really fit, but I'm just going to see how it goes. There are little oddities, like the harness comes with these female adapters, but the lights themselves don't come with anything, so I've got to go get male adapters out of the garage and hook them up. I have very little time today, so the focus of today is just going to be trying to mount the relay, hook this up to the battery, see if the lights turn on. I'll have to worry about everything else tomorrow or the next day. I'm pretty busy coming up. I'm just going to see if this is going to work, period, and see how bright these lights are today. I have all of this loosely wired. Got the positive on the positive, the negative on the negative to trigger the relay. Got the light hooked up. even though I didn't have the exact size connectors that they provide. It's close enough. So I guess I'll click it on and see if this works. One complaint I have is both sets of lights come with very small gauge wiring on them. Very small gauge wiring. Whereas the harnesses have a much larger gauge wire on them. So I don't know why they did that. Why not just use the same wiring for everything? But hopefully it works out. All right, here we go. Oh, yes, that did work. Huh. All right, excellent. It is a super bright, sunny, hot, steamy day here in Texas. So I'm not sure this is a good reflection of how bright this light is, but it is not as bright as I thought it would be. Okay, well, it is much brighter than the headlights, as you can see. And yes, the headlight is on. So directly in front of it, definitely brighter than the headlight, but I'm not sure this is going to be the solution I was looking for. I went ahead and wired up one of the square lights for a comparison. Let's see what this is like. That's not turning on. That isn't good. Let's see what I did wrong. All right, I guess that one's just a little loose or something. I don't think the camera is going to show this up. Both of these are extremely bright when aimed right at me. This is more of a spotlight, and this is more of a floodlight. Guess we won't really be able to tell until it's dark and we can adjust them and stuff. I've left these both on for a little while. Neither one of them are getting super warm. These are the kind of LEDs that do not have any kind of cooling fans or anything on them. They're just kind of hollow in the back to dissipate heat. And just sitting here, and I can hold both of them, so that's a good sign. I guess I won't know if they're any good until I actually install them and use them at night. So I guess I'll go ahead and start tucking the wiring and getting these things actually installed properly. Underneath the hood of the car, the fender of the car, got the slack zip tied up, and I've got the wiring tucked and zip tied up. I wish I could say that I'm going to come back here and do some kind of custom mounting and do all sorts of awesome stuff, but we all know I'm not. The kind of people who watch my channel, my type of mechanicking, would probably be disappointed if I did anything better than this. This harness is a little off balance. There's very little extra cable going from the relay to the battery, which is fine. But there's not enough cable to get the headlight switch in the car. But then there's like 5 feet of extra cable I'm gonna have to zip tie up that go from the battery to the actual fog lights. I know this is universal, it's not made for a Mustang, but it just seems like a disproportionate amount of wiring where it's not needed. So the switch harness only runs right here to the opening in the firewall and runs out of space, which is fine. I mean, I'm gonna have to remove the switch and everything to run the wires. And then I've got to try to figure out what I need to do to trigger this off the factory headlight wiring. I'd really like to be able to use this on the bright switch. I guess I'm going to run the switch wiring all the way across here and put it in the main harness hole with all the other wiring, but it's too short, so I'm going to have to extend it. I sort of have the wires tucked. It's not exactly a beautiful job. I left the relay up here where I can get to it in case there's a problem. And now for the actual hard part, mounting the lights. I honestly thought I had a metal plate supporting the bottom of this bumper. I do not. All I've got is fiberglass up here. I can drill into that. It's pretty stable. That's the actual internal bumper support. But I don't have any support system under this fiberglass. There's no way I'm just going to drill and mount these things here. They're going to flop around everywhere. And I need to tighten down my bumper. Oh yeah, I've lost nuts inside the bumper. The bumper is actually loose. There's a lot of vibration to lose all those nuts. have to fix that while I'm here too. Well, this doesn't look too bad. I was really afraid I was going to have to pull the front bumper cover. I was really afraid I was going to have to make some kind of custom bracket. But I think I can just drill right through here, mount this here, and I'll get some adjustability. If I mount it there, I should be able to tilt these wherever I need them. I can actually mount them a little higher up than I thought, center them in the hole a little more, and have a little more adjustability up and down. I think that'll work fine. I just need to mark it and get a drill. Well, I thought I measured it and marked it properly, but I did not. It has to go up higher, which is going to make this even harder to figure out. Just FYI, this is a 12 millimeter, that's a 14 millimeter. The mounting bolt in the back is a 13 millimeter. Virtually impossible to get to in this bumper. Oh, it's been a huge pain, and now I found out my hole is too low to adjust the light, so I got to redo it. Well, I finally got it mounted, fairly well centered, not perfect, but now I don't have the adjustability I wanted because the light is hitting the body of the bumper. I don't know if I'm going to have to come back and notch that or not. If these have to be adjusted down, then yes, I'll have to come notch this. As long as they don't need to go further down, I'm going to be okay. And now I have the problem that I can't get wrenches on the upper bolts to tighten them. Now that's not the kit's fault, that's the car's fault, but I'm not sure what to do here. Well, I got it in and the car is back on the ground. Unfortunately, I think that's going to have to be aimed down a little bit. I think that's going to be aiming up too much, but it's really hard to tell right now. But also, unfortunately, that's all the time I have for today. I have to go get my daughter, and then I have to pick up my son because cars are broken down, and then we have to go do things, hopefully really cool things, but that's a whole nother topic and a whole nother video. It's later the same night. I just got home, decided to kick on the lights. You can see how terrible the headlights are. They're yellowed and stained and barely do anything. You can see how amazing that fog light is. However, and we're just right here in the driveway, I can already tell it's aimed up at an angle. It should be hitting down under here, and it's hitting right here. So I may have to pull the front bumper cover off and trim that bracket so I can adjust the light down. It is definitely aiming up. As I step back here, yeah, it's already aiming up towards my eyes versus down at the road. So that's not going to work, but it is super bright. Just from right there to the bumper of the black car in front of it, it's already aimed up about 6 inches, so that is not going to work. It's the next day. I left my stuff out last night, and it got rained on. My nice, sunny, dry, warm, rain-free day was not. I mean, I'm sure everything's fine, but that is annoying. I wouldn't have left it here if there was any precipitation in the forecast. I love it when my nice, warm, dry, precipitation-free day leads to a nice, wet, soaked work blanket. Awesome. And I woke up today to find that one of my headlights burned out. Pretty sure that's a brand new bulb. Or rather, it was just loose. That is not the new one. That is the very old one. And the whole thing needs replaced. It's all very brittle and very old. I realized something last night. I do not need to cut a notch out of that brace there in order to give myself adjustability. I just need to space this out away from the brace so the light can spin. All I need is a longer bolt and a spacer. I came up with this. I'm going to shove this in there. That should offset this enough that I can adjust that light. It's probably 3/4 of an inch. Yes, that's giving me just enough adjustability to be able to aim the light where I need to aim it. I can't really go side to side with it, but there we go. Yes, I can. Now to be able to aim it exactly where I need. The worst part of this by far is trying to get wrenches up here on these two. I can do it if I aim the light up. When the light aims where I need it to be aimed, I can't get a wrench on it. Not really sure how I'm going to do this. I can't get a socket. I can't get anything in there to tighten that down. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about this. Not sure how I'm going to adjust these things when I go test drive it later. I came under here to experiment with spacers and try to figure this out. And then I realized the best chance I've got probably to be able to adjust this thing is to mount it up here. The problem I've got is I can't really get a drill in here to drill this because of this. This would probably be the best case scenario. Mount it right there, be able to turn it here and then tilt the light. It'd probably even get wrenches on that. But I got to figure out how to mount that. I got to figure out how to get a hole drilled. That is a lot better all around. And I think I can even get a wrench on these to adjust them. I think I have it somewhat adjusted and tightened down well enough. Oh, in all seriousness, I think it'll be easier to adjust this thing, to actually pull the top bolt out, take the whole thing out and adjust the bracket like a millimeter at a time and put it back, than it is to get 2 wrenches in here. Those things are horrible. It just simply does not fit. I have the car back on the ground at ride height. I'm trying to use some cardboard to just kind of aim and figure out where to aim this thing. I'm trying to get it as level as possible, to aim out down the road as far as possible without going up into people's eyes. And I'm thinking somewhere right around there. I think if I tighten it there, it'll be pretty good to start. It's hardly scientific, but I drew a circle with a pencil where the light's going to be, and I'll scooch that over to the other side when I mount that light and put it roughly there. 1 down, 3 to go. White Trash's other one is not going to be fun, and I'm really hoping the black car is easier than this. All right, I got the other side in, and it's aimed roughly where I want it to be. The bumper cover and the bumper itself are obviously not even side to side. There's probably nearly an inch difference in where it mounts and where it relates to the bumper in here. So who would have thought a car called White Trash would not be put together the absolute best and be the most even and balanced, and never mind the fact that it's been in a major wreck before, but you know. All right, they're both aligned as well as I can. They're both tightened down. Hopefully that's going to work, because those things are horrible to adjust. Now to the part I want to do the least. One way or another, I've got to find a way to extend this wiring into the cab of the car. I mean, I can use this switch or another switch. It's not a big deal, but what I'd really like to do is figure out how to wire this 3 wires into the headlight switch for the dim and the brights, and just wire it that way. I'm not sure it's going to work though. And of course, I do not have the little bitty teeny tiny connector size needed for this, so I'm just going to have to clip these wires and use butt splices and extend them into the car. As I'm sitting here clipping these wires, I was accidentally touching these 2 together, and the lights are turning on. So those 2 are completing the circuit of the switch. And just the red and the white together. The black doesn't seem to be doing anything. So I think I can just ground it, run these 2 through the opposite ends of the bright headlight switch, and I should be good to go. No doubt that of the 12 people we get to watch our videos, one of them is probably sitting around going, yeah, no kidding, stupid, that's how basic electrical circuits work. But I'm not an electrician, so this is all new to me. I'm figuring this out as I go, and I guess I'm gonna take this over here and ground this, even though it doesn't seem to need a ground. I'm gonna do it anyway, and then I'll try to wire the red and the white into the headlight switch somehow. I have tried to wire the fog lights into the high beam, low beam port here. It's not working. I don't know if the switch is broken or what, but I'm not, somewhere there's a disconnect between this switch and this port. I've got high beam only. I might just try to wire the fog lights directly into the headlights and then just run all or nothing. No, that's not going to work. I've got to be able to turn them off when I meet traffic. Oh, this is frustrating. I am sitting here desperately trying to get signal out on this thing for my bright lights. I finally realized where that other connector goes. I had to take this off to be able to see it. This thing, which I ghetto rigged a couple of weeks ago, plugs into that. You have got to be kidding me. I couldn't see that under there when it was mounted on the steering wheel. Let's see if my dims and brights and stuff work now. All right, headlights on. Let me pull the bright and dim. I think they are. I don't know if you can see that in that reflection. Look, I have dims and brights. Let's go outside and take a look. All right, so those green and black wires are my bright light output. Cool. So all I actually need is to hook the white wire from the fog lights into the dimmer switch or the bright switch, and this red is nothing but additional power, which it doesn't need because the switch already has power. So I can track this all the way back to where it comes from, cap it off, and be done with it. I don't need this extra power wire. It does nothing because I don't need it to trigger anything anymore. I think I have it figured out. Check this out. Dim headlights on, no fog lights. Bright headlights on, fog lights. I figured it out. I've got them wired together. That's awesome. Boy is home just in time to show him my genius. One of my adult daughters just showed up, the one with the Jeep. Ugh, I hate you, Jeep. But I just showed her my genius. She was amazed. The boy, come hither. Hither faster, the boy. Check it out, boy. What do you see? Watch this.
More headlights.
Yes, look, and they're wired into the factory switch. Now check this out. Flash to pass. When you need to flash your headlights. I'm a genius.
You might be a genius.
Give me a huzzah.
Huzzah.
I haven't gotten to drive in a couple of weeks, so I just want to listen to it for a minute. Another fuel leak. All fixed. Junior and I are going to take white trash down the road a few miles on its first ever night drive. Never realized how bright this stuff would be. Oh, and I guess I never wired the light on my regular tack. Just here in the driveway, that is quite a difference. Let's hit the road. Headlights are not exactly impressive. Let's see what the fog lights look like. Oh yeah, that's a big difference. Oh, this is terrible. Just the regular headlights. But pretty good with the fog lights. At a gas station to clean the windshield because we couldn't see out of it very well. Now we're going to see what the lights look like at a distance. This is 100 feet away. I do notice these things are very much floodlights. They are very bright from every angle. They're not spotlights just going down the road, so even oncoming traffic, they're pretty bright. So I am gonna have to keep dimming these things. I was hoping maybe they weren't so bright. I could get away with not blinding oncoming motorists, but no, you can see I'm canted over full car width in a lit parking lot, and they're still that bright. If you're wondering about voltage, this is idle right now, 13.8. Regular headlights, 13.7. Fog lights, 13.6. So basically 0.2 of a volt drop. These things light up everything. Back home after our first night cruise, and factory headlights are complete trash, but the new LEDs are amazing. I was able to see everything. It was like modern LED headlights. Fortunately, they're so bright I do have to dim them at oncoming traffic, but I'm beyond happy. Can't wait to, here in a couple of days, get the LED fog lights on your car. All right, success. Huzzah, the boy.
Huzzah.
It's like a week later. I don't remember where I left off with these, but I'm going to try to get these things mounted. Let's see what I can come up with. Bit of video missing here where I have to measure and mount and adjust the bumper bracket inside a project piece of staying to fit these lights and everything. It's gone. Sorry about that. I got both of them mounted under here. Pretty discreet. You really can't see them. Hopefully they're going to work, but unfortunately we're being rained out. We're starting to get wet. We're not even going to move on to do the electronics today. According to the weather, we're not going to get a chance to do it today, maybe not tomorrow. But I got them mounted, so I feel good about that. This car had to be wired up a little bit different due to spacing constraints. Put the relay over here, ran the wiring tucked up under the, well, sort of tucked it up under the washer bottle, ran it in front of the radiator, hooked it to the battery. Now I'm going to run it through the firewall. First, we're going to test it. Go ahead, Kris. Yes, they do. Oh my God, they're so far down. Yes, they both work. No idea where they're aimed or anything, but they definitely work. Good deal. Now I got to figure out how to get the wiring in the firewall and mount the switch. They're now aiming about the same location. Pretty well even with the front of the car, pretty level. So that should be all right going down the road. It is pitch black, and we're going to take the car out, check out the new LED lights. I have to move white trash anyway, so we're just going to take them both and cruise, and then we're going to see how bright the lights are in each other's rear view mirrors. Here are those lights. They look like headlights, so that's pretty good. Here, kill those lights, buddy, and then hit the regular headlights. Now hit the fog lights. Oh yeah, those are much better, and they're aiming the right way. Look, yeah, I think that's going to be fine. I don't think that's going to blind anybody. We are finally headed out. The boys in the lead, so we can see how his head, so he can tell how his headlights are doing. Junior has his new LEDs on. It's really hard to tell what they're doing from back here. Sadly, this is where a lot of video is missing right here. There was video, more video of us cruising the two cars together at night with the new lights on. There was a bit of video of us at the gas station comparing the lights. It's all gone. The only thing left is this one picture of the two cars side by side with the new lights. Sorry about that. Kris Jr. reports that His field of vision's a lot better with the fog lights on. He can see where he's going now. And he's a lot happier. I'm gonna lead going back home. He says my lights are pretty bright going down the road, but they're low enough they don't bother the car in front of them. So he's gonna follow me home with his fog lights on so I can tell how bright they are. Alright, he's behind me with all his lights on, not really bothering me. Even with the mirror flipped down, they're nice. You can definitely tell they're on, but they're not bothering me. Alright, well that's it. We're done. That's the end of this project. Kris Jr. reports a huge improvement on his eyesight, line of sight, general visibility. And he also, on the way home when he was behind me, he turned off his headlights and just used the fog lights just in case he needs to. And it worked really well. The fog lights are 10 times better than the factory high beams even. This turned out really well. I'm really happy. Couldn't have been much better. $33 for the round ones on my car, $23 for the square ones on Junior's car. And they are worth every penny. 1/10 the price of, any of the aftermarket headlight replacements. So this will definitely bite us some time. This was a big step in being able to take white trash out at night. And that's a huge step for the black car. The black car has barely run in a month now. The next step for the black car is going to be new rear end. We have secured a new rear end. We're looking for some gears for it. And it's probably going to be another month before we get to actually swap in the new rear end. But once it gets a new rear end, the black car will be back on the road quite often. I'll start running around in it a lot more. White trash, pretty loud. It's not a lot of fun to run around in. It's pretty big pain until I get tailpipes on it and get some interior in it. But the only thing wrong with the black car is just that screaming, whining, grinding rear end again. That's it for now. Appreciate you watching. On behalf of Kris Jr., take care. Thank you. God bless.